Hi, and welcome to Cinema Figures. I'm your host, KatRen, and today I have another review for you guys. So, Hellboy dropped this weekend. It just dropped this Friday. Today is Sunday, and Mark and I decided to go see it. So, I was a pretty big fan of the Ron Perlman Hellboy 1 and 2. I know there's a lot of people who say like, oh, that's not my Hellboy, whatever. You know what? Say it's a bad film. Say they're bad films. Say, you know, this, that, whatever. They were still entertaining. They were still gorgeous. Now, going into this film, I was excited to see the possibility of a new take on Hellboy. You know, everyone's like, oh, it's rated R, it's this, it's metal, it's gore, it's awesome, it's horror, right? This is Hellboy. So I was like, okay, awesome. Totally down for it. I'm a pretty big comic fan. KatRen Figures here on YouTube. Shameless plug. But I went in this with an open mind, right? Yeah, I kind of just wish I had stayed home and watched Hellboy 1 and 2. I own them both on Blu-ray. But my issue with this film is that they just tried to do too much in one film. This felt like segments from like a television series thrown together to make it into one big film. The story, it's all over the place. There's a whole story with Hellboy and his father, the whole father-son struggling relationship there. There is a relationship between Hellboy and Alice, and talking about their whole connection and how he's basically watched her grow up, kind of, and, you know, they're attached. That is the way it is. And then there's this whole fantastical story with the Blood Queen, Milla Jovovich, and all of the different elements of the monster world coming to her aid and all that. And how Hellboy has to accomplish destroying her to save the world. And this film is just all over the place. I mean, we had our fight sequences. Oh, God. Okay, so when we first open up, there is the retelling of the story of King Arthur and the Blood Queen. So I knew we were in trouble when we started on a monologue where there's just random F-bombs thrown in, which I have no problem with the word fuck. I have no problem with it whatsoever. But have it be organic or have it be comedic. Don't just write out an entire monologue and say, you know what would really make this awesome? Let's just throw in a bunch of curse words. They're thrown in there for no reason whatsoever. And it's like, oh gosh. They really just wanted that R rating. I could tell ever since Deadpool, everyone has been wanting the R rating to be gritty, to be edgy, to be metal, to be cool. You're forcing it though. This film is forcing it. So much so. But let's continue on. So we get to meet the Blood Queen. And Milla Jovovich, she looks awesome, you know, great actress, great. And then we get to deal with the dismemberment, which bad CGI. I mean, if Trick or Treat taught us anything, it's to stick to practical effects. If you can't do something well, maybe you shouldn't do it, or maybe you should just allude to it. Leave a little bit of mystery there, because that was not a very well done scene at all. So let's move ahead with Hellboy going after apparently a very important agent. This is his bro, Louise, and his bro's been infected by vampires. So he is now a bat beast, you know, kind of more an OG vampire style. Not that piece of crap we got out of Twilight. But, you know, should be awesome, right? Then you actually get to see it, and the CGI is so bad in it, I had flashbacks from Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed. And here's the thing with that. That film does it correctly because it knows it's a cheeseball film, and it goes all out. This film was trying to be serious and hardcore and failed dramatically. So we get the whole death scene. You know, Hellboy's torn apart, hanging out in Tijuana, drowning his sorrows, and he gets called back by his father. Okay, so we're going to continue on with this whole he and his dad having issues. Alright. So then we have this whole subplot where he's almost killed by a secret organization that was with his father when his father found him, and there's giants, which, by the way, anyone who has ever seen Jack the Giant Slayer, tell me that this film didn't rip off that film. Another film, cheesy as heck, but does it correctly, way more entertaining. I'm sorry, but if you're gonna go cheeseball, go cheeseball. If you're trying to be serious, actually be serious. The CGI in this is so bad. Another issue, Hellboy. I understand you cast a certain actor, that's totally fine, but know the scale of characters before you actually go into production of a film, because Hellboy is the same size as some of the British agents. Like, 100%. Hellboy is supposed to be a very imposing figure. You don't get this from this Hellboy. And that's not the actor's fault for size or anything, so I'm not shaming him there, but that's the issue of the producers, that's the issue of the art team, that's the issue of the director. They should have kept size and proportion to scale while watching this film. While doing all of this, it's all over the place. I have such an issue with it. Now, onto the young actress that played Alice. She did great with what she was given. She did. She was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the character. I was concerned when she got hurt in the film, but, you know, it's all good. It's all good. Now, moving on to a couple other characters, kind of all over the place. What is his name? Dan Dae Kim, I believe that's his name, probably butchering it, probably remembering it completely wrong. He was great throughout. The scars on his face looked awesome. When he turned into the cat beast, more bad CGI. I wish they had actually done some sort of like a prosthetic on him, do some makeup on him, something. Even just for the close-up shots of the cat snarling. I understand, you know, he can't actually move like a cat. I completely understand that. But, it just, that was bad CGI right there. Now, other things, all of a sudden, we have hell breaking open, and the Blood Queen is just ruling. Okay, alright, let's see this. Let's see this final epic battle. You know, spoiler alert, you know, if you haven't already figured that out. But Hellboy has Excalibur in his hands. He's got the huge horns. He's great. He's good to go. Covered in flames. Let's do this. He cuts her head off. He cuts her head off, and it's all kind of over. It's done. The entire film is basically over. You know, all the monsters just kind of go away, and it's all good because, you know, he's got this new team, and they're gonna go shake some things up now. Yeah. So I was like, what? I was sitting there thinking, what? What is this? What is this? You give me all these fight sequences throughout the entire film, and you're telling me the big bad gets taken down by one swish, and she's just defeated? That's it? This entire film, you're apparently building her up to be this magnificent beast of a villain, and it's that's it. That's all she wrote. I will tell you, there are a few things at the very end. There is a pretty big in-your-face, if we have a sequel, this character's gonna be in it. Abe Sapien. Really loved him from the Ron Perlman movies. Pretty awesome character in his own right. The disappointing thing is, this film is kind of so bad, I really doubt that we'll ever get a sequel, so sorry. Abe Sapien's probably not gonna make another screen appearance for a while. Now, I know they tried to go comedy with the mid-credit scene that we got. You know, it was okay. But my issue is, you're going for an R rating, you're throwing a lot of gore in, and it's not even good gore. Like, if you give me solid gore, I'm all for it. But the CGI on this is so bad. It basically looks like jelly at times. And that's just so disappointing, honestly. And there's just so much of it that's so poorly done. It's not scary. It's not shocking. It's just a little sad. I like good films. I like bad films. I like horrendously bad films that make it so bad it is just laughing in your face craziness. I can enjoy that because they're entertaining. This film, it was all over the place. It was a hot mess. I'm kind of astounded at the fact that this came from the same director of The Descent and so many other great films before that, but just I feel like if this film hadn't tried to do so much in such a tight, what was the runtime? Less than 2 hours? If they had tried to make this into a miniseries on television, or even just a season, a 12-episode season, I feel like they could have accomplished so much more. But they just crammed so much in one viewing. Too much. Clearly, there was a lot going on. This is what happens when you have too many cooks in the kitchen. You end up with a hot mess. And that's kind of what this film is. There were some really fun moments in it, a lot of really great moments, but they're just so overshadowed. And it just seemed like they ran out of money and they were just like, hey, we need to finish this film, so here we go. Honestly, very disappointed. I'd just say, wait till it comes out and, you know, get it for yourself. This is probably going to become a drinking game for me, honestly, this film, because there's a lot of moments that could become it. So that is it for this episode of Cinema Figures. Please do give me a like if you liked this video. Comment below and tell me what you thought of Hellboy. And, you know, let's talk about it in the comment section. Please do subscribe to my channel for more movie content and reviews of the like. Or check out any of the older videos I have up for offer here on Cinema Figures. And until next time, I'm your host, Caitlin. Bye.